I have played pretty much every Kirby game ever conceived, and now I'm finally back with another ranking to rank them all. My last ranking video upset a lot of people, and that was not my intention. So let's possibly do that again! I promised these are all my genuine opinions. That is literally the only disclaimer I have. Also, got a little PNG tuba for myself now. I'm not stealing Ace Attorney sprite sets anymore. Anyway, let's start with the worst game in the series. There is only one game I have not played, and because I haven't played it, it sits in the pity spot at the bottom. It's not the worst, I just haven't played it, and that's Kirby's Dream Collection. You are supposedly so great, and yet for some reason you didn't release in Europe. The gatekeeping bastards. Heard great things though, sure it's amazing, but I wouldn't know. Hey, since we're still in ambiguous territory, Kirby board game. It's got Kirby and game in the title, so it counts, and screw it, if we're counting this, I'm gonna count every physical tabletop Kirby game. Maybe if I really cared enough to play these, I would have enjoyed playing Kirby Jenga more than one of the games listed above, but have you played Kirby Jenga? Exactly. So if neither of us have played Kirby Jenga, then for all we know it could be shit. Okay, this is the last one before we get into some video games, but the wiki counts this as a release, so number 42 is Kirby of the Stars Magical Tower of Meadowland. I tried to find a ROM for this one, but there's just nowhere. I don't know why, but would you rather play this or Kirby Jenga? I mean, this one, obviously, because it's an arcade game that probably involved gambling, and who doesn't love gambling? Time for a spin-off speed round then, huh? Kirby Star Stacker for the Game Boy. First of all, Game Boy games kinda suck in general. Maybe I'm too modern-pilled, but I don't ever have the carnal desire to play Game Boy games. Second, I don't know how you play Star Stacker. I don't understand it, and quite frankly, I don't really have the willpower to learn. Especially not on the Game Boy version of this game. But hey, Rick is in it, so you know, there's a plus. Look, there are some Kirby spin-offs I think are really cool and fit Kirby well. I think they were running out of ideas when it came to Block Ball. Like, okay, Kirby turns into a ball and he fits into almost anything, as we'll see later, but like, I don't know, man. Who gives a crap? I don't like being negative, but why would you play this? Not even like a why would you play this in 2025, why would you play this in 1995? Why did I put Star Stacker SNES above Block Ball when it's the same as Star Stacker Game Boy, but with color and better graphics? Well, because it's got color and better graphics. Still don't understand how you play it though, but Rick's still here! They knew us outside of Japan didn't understand the original, I guess, and decided we didn't deserve the SNES version of the game. And now I shall dedicate a minute or so to talking about the Satellaview, something I have never done before, nor will I ever do again after this video ends. Kirby's toy box is pretty cool, it's got 10 games in it, what's better than Block Ball? 10! And everything else on this list. But hey, you get 10 little Kirby-themed minigames in one. Or, hold on, let me be specific here. You've got 10 little Kirby-themed minigames at specific times of the day that you cannot play on demand, and it was on the Satellaview. That's like if you had 10 cupcakes, you could only eat them with a toothpick, and also they weren't cupcakes and were actually one cupcake that changes its color depending on the time of the day. Welcome back to the Ball Kirby spin-off saga, this time it's golf. Look, Dream Course sounds like it could be kind of fun, but, and here's where I'm gonna start giving serious opinions, I could not get around the controls. It all felt very clunky and easy to mess up, which led to me just not enjoying the game. Call it a skill issue all you like, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not an epic pro gamer, I like Kirby for a reason. But I just found little to no enjoyment in playing this, and yeah, I wasn't very good at it. I'm gonna blame the controls though, because that will make me feel a lot better about myself. Kirby Slide, fuck you. What's a Nintendo IP without a pinball game? Well, I mean Zelda, but here's the surprising thing about Kirby Pinball Land though. It's actually quite nice. If there's a Game Boy spin-off game I'll actually go back to, it's still probably not this one, but I'll tell you what it is, it's okay. I don't know what it is about pinball, but I think it works better than blockball and actually has some merit to existing, unlike blockball. Kirby's Ghost Trap, or sorry, Avalanche, which, who am I kidding? Kirby is one of the only series that I'll side with the US names for games. As has probably been made apparent, I'm not a big fan of puzzle spin-offs, and this is no different. I do not care for the gameplay. It's fine, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just functional. But this one has a lot more charm than the previous entries do, and by charm I mean I find brief joy in the way the voice actor for Squishy says the word squishy. Squishy. We've made it to the 2010s. But what were they thinking with Kirby Battle Royale? There are a lot of Kirby spin-offs on 3DS, and this one just, quite frankly, doesn't need to exist. It's like a party game, but if you took out the party, so it's just like a game. I didn't finish it, so maybe it gets better, but you play the same apple collecting game so many times so early on that you lose me immediately. And there are only 10 minigames, so like what's the point? There are Mario Party games on this system. And you know what else had 10 minigames? In fact, I'm retconning this list already because Toy Box low-key kinda peak. 10 minigames and it wasn't even trying to disguise that fact? I shouldn't be ranking this based off when you can play it. I should rank it based off the game itself. And yeah, I think these 10 minigames are better than Battle Royale's 10, so there! I'm not an RPG person. I've only beaten RPGs on easy mode or with a random trade level 100 Ursa Luna. I don't actually know if Team Kirby Clash Deluxe is an RPG though. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, I don't really care about it. It's got some cool bosses, but I never got that far because I just didn't really care about it. Plus, it's got microtransactions, so that's honestly off-putting in the first place. Had this been a paid game where everything was accessible, maybe I would have played more and enjoyed it more, but it wasn't, so, no! But that second one will have to wait because next is Kirby Fighters Deluxe. They call it Deluxe, but is it weird I find the sub-game version from Triple Deluxe to be more engaging? This is fun for like 20 minutes, but it's 90% just battling other copy ability Kirbys. There could have been a lot more unique boss stages to make it more interesting, maybe randomizing it every run. Otherwise, the main replay ability is just doing it all with different copy abilities on different difficulties for no reward other than a colored medal, and that's just not very engaging. Anyway, so the other microtransaction one isn't great either. Who would have thought? Super Kirby Clash is just Team Kirby Clash, but with more stuff. And that more stuff is cool. Again, it's got some cool and fun bosses, and again, it could have been better had it been a paid-for game. Free to play just puts me off because it makes the whole experience feel lesser. Oh, okay, hold on. Right, so this is our first mainline title. And I have been dreading it because I know its reputation, but I really do not like Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I've never so internally despised one of the mainline titles as much as this one, and it's simply down to the fundamentals of how it works. It's kind of open world. Everywhere you go is linked and you can pretty much go anywhere at any time. This sucks because it's so easy to lose track of where you were meant to be going and doing and how you get to where you need to go once you figure that out. I also find the level design infuriating. There are so many doors and passages to other parts of the world and everywhere just looks the same and there's not really any cohesion between anything and any semblance of story is completely lost. Also, playing single player is weird because the other Kirbys on the map do nothing and only further confuse me. This game was an utter slog. I had to look up walkthroughs so many times just to understand where I was supposed to go. I never ever want to return to this game. I would rather play Kirby Slide, and it's only above the other ones mentioned because it does have a lot more going on. But man, I hate this game so much, and I do not understand the hype. You'll notice all the spin-off entries going forward that star Kirby as a ball all involve him rolling around, as balls usually do in the wild. Tilt and Tumble is peak ball rolling action. Not only is it actually fun, but my seemingly smooth brain actually knows how to play it. Surprised how much I did actually like this one, and I did finish it too. This game pretty much marks the turning point of games I dislike to games that I like. The original Kirby's Dream Land is one of the games I've replayed the most, because it takes like 20 minutes to finish. Surprised they got away with this considering Dream Land 2 is on the same system, but I can't not love the original of originals. It's simple, but it doesn't get old and is probably one of the easiest games to play for a little bit if you bring your Game Boy around with you for some reason. Which, I mean, why would you do that? It doesn't even have Street Pass. It's short but sweet and one of the few games before Kirby was pink-washed. I didn't expect much from a full sequel to Kirby Fighters, and Kirby Fighters 2 is better, but like not by much. You've really got to enjoy playing battle after battle with different Kirby abilities, because like while I do like the addition of some of the actual new characters and a more fleshed out story mode, it's still difficult to really get hooked on it. I live for unlockables in these types of games, but I don't even think the ones here are that exciting. But I still put a good amount of hours into it, and those fights with Meta Knight and DDD can get surprisingly difficult. Earlier, I said I wasn't much of an RPG person. So it's lucky that DDD's Drum Dash Deluxe is not an RPG! I'm a sucker for rhythm games, and so an expanded version of the original Drum Dash subgame would always go down well with me. Its gameplay is quite tricky, and getting all the medals took me longer than I thought, but the selection of music is just like fine. Like tracks from Triple Deluxe worked for the sub-game, but here you could have added more variety from across the series to make a proper Kirby rhythm game. Missed opportunity, but like it's still fun. But my favorite expanded sub-game is Blowout Blast. The original honestly isn't amazing, but I had a lot of fun with this version of it. Being more about precision aiming than platforming, I found the high score garnering to be quite engaging, which is incredibly unlike me, because I notoriously suffer from skill issue syndrome. But where everything is so tightly packed into the levels, it made the experience of getting the higher medals more fun than I expected it to be. Kirby's Dream Land 2 introduces Rick to the franchise. Okay, no, I have more to say. I didn't even care about Rick until I realized his ultimate potential in Air Riders. Anyway, Dream Land 2 is one of the more forgettable mainline entries, but really showed that they really could have done more with the first one. The addition of the animal friends is something I honestly wish they utilized again in a more modern title, but I guess Kirby abilities just kinda took over. It's a fine game, but not insanely engaging or memorable. Yeah, I gotta put Extra Epic Yarn below its original, cause it's cool they put it on 3DS and added some new stuff, but like, this is how I played Kirby Epic Yarn for the first time, and I really wish I didn't. Okay, Not a big fan of Epic Yarn in the first place, but this version felt weirdly clunky. It doesn't feel like a Kirby game, probably because it was never meant to be one, but it's just a weird game that looks nice but plays badly. The copy abilities are totally pointless and taint the experience, honestly. Let me talk about the original though. Epic Yarn, on the other hand, seems more concise in what it was trying to do. The Wii makes it look better than it did on 3DS anyway, and that's really the only reason either of them are this high up. I didn't enjoy the gameplay experience, but just like Yoshi's Woolly World, the aesthetic is nice, and so I can't deny it that merit, but keep the yarn to Yoshi for now, I think. We'll talk about its sequel later, but the original Kirby Air Rider is just a little bit of a grey area for me. I have not put nearly as much time into it as others, but I can appreciate what it does. I only played this one recently in preparation for the sequel, and I just think everything it does is great, but is made just infinitely better in said sequel. Air Ride feels underbaked, Top Ride may as well not even be there, and City Trial... Well, I mean, it's City Trial, that's the only thing that matters, and I'm a sworn City Trial enjoyer, so that's all good. It just needed more of everything, which it got, so like, can't really complain. Even though it died within a week, Dream Buffet has a special place in my heart. You can tell because I'm one of the only 3 people that 100%ed the game and got every collectible. Why? I don't know, but I'll do it again. I don't know why I enjoyed Dream Buffet so much, but I just never really got bored of it, and would pick it up every now and then to bust out a few levels. Don't get me wrong, 100% took me a few years, but I did it eventually. Unlike Kirby Fighters 2, where I just have no real motivation to go get more unlockables. Plus, Dream Buffet's soundtrack is Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss, see? Because chef, like baking, chef, yeah. Dreamland 3 is Dreamland 2 but better, now on the SNES, so it can be an actual proper game! Although the game itself is honestly equally as memorable as Dreamland 2, that is to say, not very! Apart from one thing, the art style. Similarly to Epic Yarn, I can respect a game if it looks unique, and this does! It's something they only really touched upon again in Kirby 64. Collectibles in this one are a little confusing though, which is why I didn't bother with them! Same with most of the older games, to be honest. I just don't have the patience for the 100%. But I do for Dream Buffet, somehow. Another remake before its original is Nightmare in Dreamland. I have nothing against the game itself. Adventure is literally the next entry. But this one is only lower because it Find the Amazing Mirror art style gives me traumatic flashbacks. But I do really enjoy Kirby's Adventure. There's something charming about one of the original games, as with Dreamland 1, just minus everything about the Game Boy. It wasn't particularly groundbreaking, but for what it was at the time, I think it's possibly the best platformer on the NES, and I feel it did a better job at cementing Kirby as a series than any of the Dreamlands ever did. Kirby Mouse Attack? Who am I kidding? It's Squeak Squad. Again, the European name is so much worse. Me when I'm in a middest game of all time competition and my opponent is Kirby Squeak Squad. There's a good premise behind this game, but it's just not very memorable in the slightest. But I will say I am one of the few people that actually enjoyed the touchscreen stomach, regardless of how odd it is. Plus some great sub-games. Unfortunately though, it has the Amazing Mirror art style, so immediate docking of points at the cost of my mental health. If a board game counts, then so does Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World. This is just ranking the additional content, not the main game, but I'll say the added levels and story is pretty cool, just less than I would have hoped. But regardless, I still really enjoyed it. The levels themselves are nice, but nothing crazy, and the final boss and added arena tournament are what make this package for me. Am I using 1,000,000 health items, including 5 amiibo, to help me pass the arena, still barely scraping the win? Yes. Do I care for the ranking listing without all the handicap icons? No. The best part of Star-Crossed World, though, is the music. Some immaculate stuff that I need injected into my ears. Kirby Superstar. It's good, but like that's it. I don't hype this game up or particularly enjoy it as much as some others do, but I respect the hell out of it. There are some really fun modes and some not as fun modes. It's just the format for me that's a little Spring Breeze, Revenge of Meta Knight, and Milky Way Wishes are all great. Dynablade, Great Cave Offensive, not so much, but again, there's some great stuff here and everything about Marks is top tier, but I'm just not fond of the format. But I will say they made it so much better with Superstar Ultra when you remake all the previous game modes as well as adding a bunch more and making those bite-sized experiences portable. Now I'm really into it. Ultra has so much more content that it's really hard to complain, and while I'm still not into Great Cave Offensive, with the amount of other modes now included, that matters no more, and finally I can say Superstar is pretty super. I'm sorry again, Europe, but we were done dirty. Power paintbrush? Come on, Canvas Curse is right there. At least it's an alliteration. Regardless though, Canvas Curse and Rainbow Curse are peak Kirby Ball spin-offs. Canvas Curse is more fun than I thought it would be. Like, a lot more fun, actually. Like, when you add the unlockable skins for the ball and trail as well, my kink for unlockables is satisfied. Barely anyone talks about these games as much as they should, because they are more fun than you think. And Rainbow Curse is everything I love about Canvas Curse, but better. So much so that I had to buy this game twice, because my Wii U would not run the game. Didn't run it the second time either. I had to admit defeat and ended up playing it through my drawing tablet. Don't tell Nintendo that. But I did it with an actual pen, so that's quite cool. But if you take Canvas Curse and make it out of clay, that's fucking beautiful. This game is so pretty, and Aline and Glacia are some of my favorite characters in the series. I adore this game so much. I just wish it could have played a bit on my Wii U. Another one you probably didn't expect me to like so much is Mass Attack. Is it mainline? Is it a spin-off? Who knows? I have no idea, but flinging around a million Kirbys to advance through a level, that's damn good fun. Plus, it's got such a pleasing art style after we finally escaped the Amazing Mirror's sludge. The game feels so weird next to the other mainline titles, but it's way more expanded than a typical spin-off, and it's still a platformer even if the puzzles are emphasized more. Kirby knew how to make use of the DS touchscreen, and it is so satisfying flinging a Kirby exactly where you want it to go to get through or defeat an enemy. Although not aging the best in terms of visuals, Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards is a lot of fun. Firstly, I love the visuals. It is as if you took Dreamland's style and transformed it into 3D. It's just so friendly. Playing this game feels like a warm hug and it's so nice. Another positive is the combining abilities mechanic. There's really no guidance on it, so every time you combine something it feels so random what you could get, and then that honestly makes it more fun to me. I also actually felt encouraged to get all the collectibles. I'm glad I did because the final boss is one of the most iconic ones in the series. Just wish physicals weren't so expensive. And now the newest game to release at the time of writing, Kirby Air Riders. Not what I expected to see in the first 6 months of the Switch 2's existence, but glad it got me to experience Air Rider for the first time. They improved everything from the original to make it infinitely more enjoyable, as well as adding the surprisingly disturbing story mode, which I have been addicted to, and of course all the other features Sakurai didn't need to add, but still did because he's fucking insane. Air Ride is super fun now, especially with the new soundtracks. Top Ride is playable and I'm low-key a beast at it. City Trial is City Trial. It's amazing. Not to mention Rick is playable. This game has enlightened me to the gospel of Rick. It is perfect, and it is also 10 times better than Mario Kart World, so suck it. Sorry, I just read the word 10 and I thought of Toy Box again. Toy Box is great. I love Toy Box. That's a fucking great game, innit? I always found Triple Deluxe's name a little odd, and the game itself too, to be honest, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's pretty damn fun. Its themes are all a little all over the place, and as opposed to some of the other games from modern Kirby, but it's got a good story and an excellent finale sequence. Also, Kirby can do the big suck, and that's just fun. It's not a groundbreaking gimmick, but it's just really fun. I'm saying the same word again and again, but like it is, like that's true. Like it's probably the whole reason I enjoy the game so much. It doesn't have much cohesion outside of the final section, but it's just really fun. Kirby's Adventure Wii. Yeah, that's the weirdest European name yet. It's not a remake of Kirby's Adventure. Why is it called that? Why couldn't it be called Return to Dreamland? They called it that in the remake! Anyway, Kirby's first modern sort of title, this one is rather special. Again, it doesn't have too much of a heavy theming like some others, but again, it's just really fun. Multiplayer is here too, but I always found multiplayer in platformers like this and Mario, and even worse, Sonic, to be completely pointless and make it feel slow. But this game has Magalore, and you know what happens with Magalore, so really, is there anything missing? Yes, there is, and I'll talk about that in a bit. This one may be just as controversial as my amazing mirror placement, but I absolutely love Star Allies. I am drawn to Kirby fanservice as much as a moth is drawn to a flame, and this is just Kirby fanservice, the game. Some people say the levels and plot are boring and safe. I say fuck you. No, I say the story is one of, if not the most interesting ones in all of Kirby, and the levels are, well, okay, they are a little bit all over the place in terms of theming, but it's fun. I also think it just looks beautiful. Like, it's an early Switch game, but it looks really, really good. I wish I got a Switch 2 edition, it could have been so much better. And that's just the main game. There is so much bonus content, post-updates. The arena is the arena, it's what you expect, but the addition of a difficulty slider is such a cool concept and makes the challenge way more interesting. Heroes in Another Dimension is a super fun platforming puzzle gauntlet with all the Dream Friends. Not to mention the Dream Friends, everyone you could ever want to play as is playable in the guest star star allies go mode. Sure, maybe I don't want to play through the condensed game with all the copy ability enemies, but I do want to do it as the Dream Friends. Yes, I really do, especially since all of them have unique stages and music within. That's so cool. Maybe I should move Star Allies higher because I really do love it, but I do appreciate that the games above it are better games. And man, I have such a soft spot for this one. After that brief intermission, let's talk Return to Dreamland again. Kirby's Return to Dreamland. The original game is great, but now it's in this super clean looking outline art style, which I adore. But this remaster does so much more, and is higher up because of what it adds, similarly to Superstar's upgrade. Merry Magoland is exceptional, with so many subgames from across the series and a checklist of challenges to complete around them, giving them purpose. And these challenges get hard, but you know, I did them all, no sweat. But they also included the Magalore epilogue. Genuinely, they could have released this as a standalone game because it is phenomenal. And it's a bonus amongst the already amazing package that is Return to Dreamland. I have to come clean. Kirby and the Forgotten Land was my very first Kirby game. That's right, I'm a new gen! But it opened my eyes and made me go back and play every past title. There is so little to dislike about Forgotten Land. The transition to 3D was perfect, and the theme of this abandoned world that takes past Kirby themes and makes them feel dry and wastelandish, slowly being filled up with life again as you walk through it, it's great. Not to mention Mouthful mode, which essentially makes copy abilities out of random objects, because giving Kirby an ability called Pipe sounds a little bit weird on paper. What a game to start the series on though. There is not a single unfun thing about it. Finding the collectibles is super engaging, building up the Waddle Dee town is super satisfying, and the extra content in the arena and Forgo Dreams are welcome additions. And again, I feel as though Kirby beats Mario in terms of platformers on the Switch, though it is close, because Odyssey is good. Like, it is good. But Forgotten Land does not take my #1 spot. While it's possibly the best game from a gameplay standpoint, Planet Robobot has such a good premise and theme that it really cannot be beat. I love when an entry in a series takes on a unique theme and rolls with it for the entire game. I don't like Mario Sunshine, but it keeps its theme going, unlike something like 3D World or even Odyssey. Forgotten Land, Triple Deluxe, Star Allies, and Return to Dreamland all squeeze together a number of themes to tell its story, and while Robobot has a lot of themes in its level concepts, the overall robofication of everything looms over the entire game, and it's so damn cool. The plot is superb too, rivaling Star Allies for me as the most interesting one in the series, culminating in an epic finale sequence, which is something you'll know I appreciate if you watch my other ranking video. The Robobot suit is cool too, and the ability to change its color with abilities and even customize it with collectible stickers is such a nice detail. I didn't even mention sub-games much because they all have expanded versions, but 3D Blast is here, that's a bonus, as well as the condensed mode with Meta Knight. Who doesn't like playing as Meta Knight? A great soundtrack, great ideas, and a great story. I really cannot put anything past Planet Robobot being the best Kirby game of all time. But who knows, Kirby fans are always eating, and we'll probably get a new game in a couple months and this list will be outdated, so yay, but what did you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Probably disagree. Let me know in the comments below. What should I rank next though? I'm tempted to do like Zelda games, I don't know, maybe every Club Penguin minigame, fuck it, like, I don't know. Alright, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, despite probably wanting to murder me. Goodbye.